Yeah, well, with the move in the industry to big data and to audiences, driving how advertisers plan, buy, and measure their media on a go-forward basis, the idea here really was to take the disciplines, right, across all those areas being data and identity, right, and first-party data, measurement, and all the research and insights work that we do, and bring them together, right, with the leadership of knowledge from the perspective of granular data sets, right, moving away from panels, bringing all that together into a more integrated offering for the market. And we think it really matches up to the strategy that our clients are asking for, our agency partners are asking for. So in some ways, we really think it's just a natural evolution where it just doesn't make sense for us to have these separate disciplines any longer.
Completely agreed. It feels like a change for the 2020s, fit for purpose, makes total sense.
Yeah.
So the other big announcement is obviously the platform announcement today. We saw obviously some of the editorial and releases. It sounds very exciting. What's the big announcement? What underpins it? What have you actually done? What's different?
I think the announcement associated with one platform, total audience, is the evolution and sort of the next level of innovation that sits on top of our investments in first-party data and identity, our obvious, big investments in streaming with Peacock, and the ability to bring all that together using artificial intelligence, really using machine learning models to be able to take an advertiser's audience and truly be able to generate through an automated process a media plan, and ultimately all the way through activation, the most efficient, most effective way to possibly reach that audience, utilizing a mix of both our linear and our streaming and fully addressable assets in a way that we know is going to deliver results, and we can plug directly into our measurement capabilities to demonstrate that as we go forward.
I mean, again, this feels to me like part of a story about TV going everywhere and bringing those bits together to deliver something really compelling to advertisers.
Yeah, I think it's just really about making sure that we're focused on performance for our advertisers, and we start treating audiences just audiences that we reach through whatever screen, through whatever portion of our inventory, and making sure that it's in the right context for that audience, and it's being delivered where that audience is, and we know that context matters, right? So it's not just about finding that audience somewhere, it's about finding that audience in the right context. One platform, total audience, allows us to do that. It allows us to get away from intuition, and it makes it easy for our agency partners and our advertisers to essentially click a button, right? Upload that audience and really get a comprehensive view. And again, it's really exciting to use advanced machine learning techniques to generate that. Because the math and the science behind that really generates the sort of optimal plans that, again, humans by themselves wouldn't be able to do.
So you mentioned performance. What's the measurement strategy underpinning the new offering?
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing some more news as we get later into Q1 on our suite of measurement partners. But you can essentially think about it as we're going to be working with best-in-class partners to generate cross-platform measurement so that advertisers can understand effective reach, right? Reach and frequency, but they can also start to plug into, I think this is where it's going to get really exciting, is they're going to start to be able to plug in their business KPIs. So whether it's how many people did you get onto a dealership lot, how many people did you get using location data into a restaurant, all of those sorts of metrics, that's what advertisers really care about. Reach and frequency is just a means to an end, right? And so our ability to do cross-platform, true cross-platform measurement that breaks down the lines between streaming and linear and really just looks at what was most effective in that mix, and we can constantly optimize. It's not a one and done. We can constantly optimize that mix based on those KPIs. I think that's going to be some really exciting news. So I'm looking forward to
that sounds super exciting. Yeah. So the other big part of the story I think you're telling is about automation and machine learning and programmatic.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about how those things play into your thoughts on the future of TV advertising. I mean, where are we heading?
Yeah, I think we're heading to a world ultimately where all of these things will sit in one platform, right? Truly, meaning your ability to understand audience, develop insights, be able to build these plans across all inventory sources, really across all publishers, right? Not just a single publisher, and to ultimately be able to use the best of programmatic, which obviously has been around for a long time now, to be able to automate that buy, to be able to manage those and refine those audiences in real time, manage reach and frequency, and do so across all of our inventory. That's the future. Obviously, that's the dream, and to be able to do one, sort of one click to measurement in real time. We're bringing those things on in phases, obviously, as an industry and as NBCU. So if you think about one platform, total audience, that's really a huge step forward in optimization of the mix and the plan. Our advancements in programmatic are allowing our advertisers to take the digital portion for now of that buy and be able to use that for everything that we do. So, for example, we're bringing on lots more live events, right, into availability through programmatic, through all of our DSP partners, right? So you no longer have to separate out live events from the rest of the inventory that you could buy programmatically. You can sort of think about it more holistically. That's a really meaningful step forward. But again, it'll take us some time to get all the way there.
So NBCU in recent years has obviously been a loud evangelist for the multi-currency future. Has your view changed with these recent investments, or are you still very much a proponent of that future?
Nothing has changed in our overall measurement vision and roadmap here. In fact, we are in the process of doubling down, if you will, right? So as it relates to our partnerships and investments with sort of multi-currency, and those partners being able to work off of big data sets, being able to work off of our first-party data, which is sort of a really integral sort of part of that formula. All of those investments are moving forward, full steam ahead. Our involvement with the Joint Industry Committee, the JIC, right? That is pushing forward as well, right? So our coordination with other publishers, other advertisers is moving forward as well. So yeah, full steam ahead on multi-currency.
So final quick question, we're here at CES. There's obviously a wave of innovation and incredible exhibitors. Has anything caught your eye? Anything exciting you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm fascinated, as a lot of people are, by the opportunities for true generative AI. We sort of talk a lot about AI, and we're sort of talking about machine learning techniques that have been around for a while, but truly the use of generative AI, these large language models, which is sort of like all over the place here at CES, and the application of that to advertising, not just in the automation of our workflows, that tends to be a lot of what I see people focused on, but actually in generating deeper insights into how consumers, our audiences, actually emotionally respond, right, to content, and how that shapes their behavior in terms of shopping for products and buying them. Generative AI unlocks an incredible amount there. We're doing a lot of work there, which we'll have some announcements for coming up. And so, yeah, I'm sort of soaking all of that in right now, because it's all of those advancements are going to touch all industries, but definitely the advertising industry is going to be a big beneficiary of that.